Howdy everyone, hope you're all well and good. What is now Thursday the 16th of March. Hopefully we all come out of the winter alright and we're going into the start of the new season for 2023. It's been absolutely crap up here as usual. The weather, the snow, the temperatures. I'm sure much of you have had exactly the same where you are. I haven't been able to do much filming or anything sort of productive myself because the weather just doesn't allow it. I'm not very good during the winter season. I tend to hibernate myself. The sort of productivity and any enjoyment in doing anything sort of just falls off, and I just keep myself locked away normally, warm, comfortable, and hoping that spring just gets here. Temperatures pick up as soon as possible, like the rest of you. So we'll have a little look now what's happening with the temperature of the pond. And also, I didn't do much filming obviously over the last few months because there wasn't much to see, so we're just gonna have a quick snap back to some days I did film, more for a record of outdoor temperatures, pond temperatures. The pond is not heated, it just follows the ground temperature. It is covered over by the balls that I use to retain the ground temperature and stop wind chill, and I'm really happy with what's the outcome of that has been. Really, I've rarely seen it drop below 8, apart from the really brutal cold snaps we had, where I think the lowest it got down to was just under 6. But day by day, week by week, it's normally held around 8 degrees, and we've had temperature ranges from obviously we had the extreme temperatures about -8, then we had run-of-the-mill sort of 0 to -3, where the pond held out really well at just below sort of 8, and now where we're going from sometimes -1 on a night to around 10 degrees during the day. It's just a balance of the temperature and external air temperatures, which is going quite dramatically up and down, but the pond itself is holding out really well, as I say, rarely dropping below 8 degrees. So I'm happy with that. I'll show you now quickly where we're at today. We are coming in 10 air temperature in the garden. 8.4 pond temperature. So happy with. Oh, I lost my balance there. It's too overcast today, but what I've said before in the past, sun comes round this corner normally, beats down on the pond, and you will see the pond temperature go up with the sun's rays hitting these balls. It sort of sends it up by a few, maybe it's a degree, definitely a few points of its degree, which then seems to hold really well overnight as well. So they have their use for that as well. So as I was saying, today, Thursday the 16th of March, I'll just quickly snap over and show you the photograph I took on Tuesday, and the garden was like this Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures then were around 0 to 3 degrees, covered in snow, as you'll just see. And here we are again now, Thursday at 10 degrees, as I've just shown before. So temperatures definitely up and down, day by day here. But as I've said, the pond holds out nicely unheated at around 8 degrees. So for me, from what I've experienced with fish losses in the past over this area of the country that I live in, it just doesn't have a steady temperature up here, 900 feet up. We just get long winters, just absolutely just take forever. A really short season for the kite to actually enjoy any sort of ambient warm water and feed them up. So last 2 years I've covered over with this method, ran the pond in this method over the winter, and touch wood, I've had no problems. Fish moving, never on the bottom much, eating little by little every other day, keeping them going, and it's just the method I use up here. So as I said in the beginning, here's just a quick look back at some filming that I did do over the last few months. Not very much, but it just shows some temperature ranges from external temperature to pond temperature. So we'll have a look at that now.
Well, morning everybody. It is Sunday, the 5th of February. Snow has gone. The sun's out. But we're not deceived by that. It is still cold. What have we got? Still hanging around 0. It is just seems relentless, this cold, especially up here. Don't know what it's like in the areas of the country you live, but as usual, we're still in for the long run of the cold snap. Let's see how it's affecting the pond and the pond temperatures. See, there's ice on the glass cover I have over. Yep, that's frozen down nicely. Pond currently at 8.6, which is good. I mean, Friday it was 11 degrees up here, so from Friday to Sunday we've gone from 11 to 0. But as you can see, the pond's holding out nicely, a steady sort of decline. Yesterday it was at 9, so we've had a cold slap overnight and it's come down to 8.6. So that's not too stressful for the fish. We're happy with that. That's a good example of why covered over and running the system like how I do through the winter prevents a lot of fast heat loss. So the water steadily just follows the ground temperature and comes down steadily and accordingly to what's happening in the ground. I get no sudden snaps of water change, temperature change, and that's how I've found the fish a lot better handling the winter like that.
So Saturday 11th of February, Pond ball still on. Just under, so it's 8 degrees outside reading. Fish were having a little bit of food there, still not eating very much. They're a bit spooked because they're not used to seeing people now, I suppose, with the balls being on. Pond temp just under 9, 8.9 on there it's reading. See if I can get any footage of them trying to eat. No, too easily spooked. They are eating a little bit every now and then, but it'd be nice to see them going at it properly again now that we're in February. So not a lot happening, still waiting for the weather to pick up. A little bit warmer and drier the day, but still nothing like you want to sit outside. So we'll have to wait a bit longer. So as I was saying, I hope you can see there, unheated, built into the ground, well insulated, surrounded by earth, just following the ground temperatures and taking advantage of some of the days when the sun's rays beat down on the balls. We are holding out at a nice steady temperature throughout the winter months, which I'm really pleased with. I'll show you now, I'll talk you through some of the ideas I've got for the upcoming season. We are going to make some changes to the pond, and mainly the filter system, because I love just messing around with the filter system and improving that. So this year I plan, see, acid trees coming back nicely, looking forward to them budding. I plan on changing, I used to, as you can see, have the old centre of the nexus just filled with grog inside one of these chambers I was using as a bio chamber. I'm planning on taking that out of there, which I've done, clean it off, and then if you remember, anyone who watched Dave from Eden Koi Pond, when he was trialling the trident for the nexus, so I like the idea of that for extra filtration of fines. So I'm planning on using this nexus, which follows on after my drum filter. I currently have just a sponge in there, so I'm going to remove that. Then I'm not going to buy a trident yet, see if I need to, but I think with a bit of creativity, a bit of pond liner, I can make a damn good version of a one. I'm going to put this back in here. So see, I'm going to wrap that in some pond liner, get some K1 Micro and give that a try running like that. Hopefully that lid I made will go back on. Yep, that's fine like that. Then I'm going to do some creative. I don't want K1 bubbling away in this chamber on this one. I want to make it more of a static media bed, where I believe it is a type of bacteria that prefers not so much to be saturated in oxygen, and it's really good to get rid of your nitrite, I believe. So I'm gonna get some, hopefully, what's it called again? The mountain tree media, biohome type of media. Gonna rig that up, connect it to some pipes in there, dangling down in water, just hanging static, and hopefully then water going through the Micro K1 when I adapt that centre chamber to act more like the Trident one does, forcing water to come up through the bottom and not getting it tracking in through the sides. It's been proven to show it collects more fines, which will then provide nice clean water going into this chamber, which is going to be full of the Backy House media I just mentioned before. It's one of them, lotus, mountain tree lotus or something. When I'm doing it, we'll talk through it more, but that's my plan for that, to make a really good biological filter here, for concentrating more on capturing nitrite. Then I will do something different in here, take advantage of this space. Maybe it's just dangle some more media in there. I've got this project to finish in the summer. It's going to be a sort of, as I mentioned before, it's my filter house with a quarantine tank, or it acts as part of the main filter system for the pond, depending on which valve I turn to how the water flows through it. But yeah, I wanted to finish it off. I'm going to get some roof on it so I can fully enclose it through the winter months, and then make it look like a bar area. Ideally, I'm wanting in this middle part here to add a backy shower in. Now, for us to do that, what I'm thinking is, I'll just show you down. That's the easiest way to explain it. There's currently a 15,000 litre pump in this Ultra Sieve 3, which pumps the water round up here, up, as I said, in to the main nexus, the taller 300, drops out of that by gravity into the smaller one, drops out of that into the quarantine chamber, or which acts as part of the filter system in full summer mode before it all returns back again through the waterfall. But what I'd like to try and do, the 15,000 litre pump isn't really big enough to give us the full pull from the 4-inch bottom drain through a 4-inch drain line, which goes bottom drain line, through the drum filter, into the clean end of the sieve, and then pumped as we've just discussed. But the 15,000 isn't enough. You're supposed to pull 17,000 litres through a 4-inch line from a bottom drain to stop anything hanging around in there. So although that sounds a bit extreme, that's what everyone tells you need to do. I get around this by regularly back flushing the 4-inch, purging them from the bottom drains. But we're looking at, or I'm looking at, getting maybe a 20,000 Veriflow pump. I'm going to look at taking it actually out of there. Just have 2-inch pipe coming out there to an area over here. Put the 20,000 litre pump down there. I'd like to then pump out of the 20,000 litre with 2-inch pipe up this run. When I get to here, tee off and go into a Tempest. So one of it would be running up here into the Tempest. The other main run would be going up there and back into the main nexus as it always has done. When I come out of the Tempest, I want to go, so it'll be into the Tempest, up through the medium Tempest, out your Tempest. We hid quite nicely in them trees and all once I put one of those jackets on it. You'll never know it's there, so I'm liking that idea. I said out of the Tempest, across into a backy shower falling into the main big tank there, and then the idea eventually this becomes a sort of, looks like a bar area in the summer once that roof lifts up, as I've shown before in the past. Them backy showers in the centre falling into that with all of the mind your own business growing out of it, as I like to see on other people's, would be a really good look. I'd like a couple of stools here, so, and then we could even have, this is a Tosai tank, or the quarantine tank, but it'll be just another area to sit. A couple of beers, a couple of stools, look at the small growing fish or the Tosai or whatever I've got in there, and then I've just got loads of other options for filtration. So that's in my mind, it's on the drawing board at the minute. Bigger pump to help with the pull on the lines, stop any debris gathering in them and needing to purge them as much. Tempest filter added in between the two conifer trees, Tempest filter feeding a backy shower filter, and yeah, we'll go from there. So with me trying to modify this Nexus with a DIY version of a Trident, and looking into what we've just discussed over this side, that'll keep me quite busy and entertained for the start of this next season. Oh, that's the plan there. I'm not going to go out and spend a fortune on these things brand new. It'll be, if I find a cheap Tempest come up, I'll grab it. If I find a backy shower going cheap somewhere, I'll grab it while I'm running around the country. Facebook Marketplace purchases probably. So not in a hurry to do any of it, really don't need it. The pond has loads of filtration as it is. I just enjoy always changing it up, experimenting with different filters, and so it's just part of the hobby for me. Keep myself entertained with it all. So hope everyone's all well, like I just said. Hope you're all got some ideas of projects for your own this upcoming season, and I look forward to catching up with everyone's videos. I got behind over the winter. I've been mainly just really busy at work, not in the best of moods for the winter months, but I've slowly coming out my shell again now, so I've started watching everyone's content, catching up, ready for the new season, and I say keep it all coming. It really is a good way of passing the time for me for watching it. I really enjoy it. I hope yous do as well, and I look forward to seeing what yous all get up to this year. Thank you very much. Bye now.